Welcome to They Said, She Heard, the podcast where words become turning points. I'm your host, Samantha Gibson. Here we talk with leaders, dreamers, and change makers about one simple question. What was said to you, and how did it move you forward, set you back, or make you rebuild? Because sometimes the words that break us are the same ones that build who we become. So before we get started, you guys know in true fashion, I want to give a huge shout out to our studio sponsor, Ashley Kildoo with Fairway Mortgage. She is my go-to loan gal. She can help you guys. So without them, truly, the video would not be possible. The audio in a quiet space would not be possible due to my dog and my children. So again, thank you so much. I'll be tagging her, but on all my social media platforms. With regards to follower shout out this week, I want to send a huge shout out to somebody named Tony Acosta. He and I have known each other well over a decade. We started off in the business, oh my gosh, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe 13, 12 years ago. He has been following me on LinkedIn for several years. And he has been really just such a huge supporter of the message of trying to be that person of encouragement. And just want to say thank you for that. Everybody's encouragement, everybody sharing, commenting, etc., is what truly makes this podcast come to life. It's what allows me to meet incredible people. And it is what gives me the fuel to keep going even on the days when I think I've lost my mind about it. So I am really, really excited to have my next guest today. His name is Daniel. Daniel, do you mind letting everybody know your full name, your title, and what company you're with?
Sure. My name is Daniel Sanchez, and I am the owner of a wholesale private jeweler located here in Scottsdale.
I love it. Okay. And for all of you guys, because I am really excited about this and what really made us connect, jewelers are known to be somebody that only like the elite of the elite get to afford. That's our assumption. You guys, he loves people that want to get engaged, want to get married, potentially want to get divorced and need a bling ring, and everyone in between.
That is correct. Yes.
So he's out of Scottsdale, Arizona, but can help anyone all over. So do not think just because you're not in Arizona that he cannot assist. So we are going to go ahead and hop right on in. You're going to notice that I might be writing some notes. That's because some quotes will be used on social media later.
Perfect.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and ask you the question of this podcast.
Yes.
What is something said to you, and how did it move you forward, set you back, or make you rebuild?
I can think of two different situations. I think the one that really resonates with me was I grew up in Springfield, Oregon, next to Eugene, Oregon, and I got the opportunity. I was promoted to a position up in Seattle, Washington. And at the time, I was living with my parents, and it was the first time that I was kind of going to go on my own. And I packed my car. Everything was ready to go. I am pulling out of the driveway, and my dad comes out. And I roll down my window, and he's like, "Hey, if you fail, you're going to come back." And that resonated with me. So he had already seen me as failing in my next chapter of my life. And the whole way up to Seattle, I think it's like 6 hours, I was bawling my eyes out because the man that I believed in didn't believe in me. And so from that day, I made it a mission to prove him wrong, that anything that I wanted to do, I was going to be able to achieve it. And so I am now. So now I'm an entrepreneur on my own. And I'm happy to say that I proved them wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to dig into that one because I'm curious, right? On this podcast, we have men and women, both giving us different perspectives. I'm curious because I'm a woman,
Yes.
right? So to me, this is all just my perspective, is when something is said to us as a woman, we interpret it one way and it hurts us differently.
Sure.
When something is said to a man, and it hurts, it hurts much differently.
Right.
It's almost as if, and ladies, y'all don't go getting all crazy on me. For women, it's almost like it hits us, but it doesn't hit us to the gut. For you guys, especially coming from your dad,
Right.
I feel like that almost like reached completely inside your intestines and like ripped them out.
Yes, that is a correct way to look at it. I
Okay.
mean, I was bawling my eyes out just because here's this man telling me that I'm going to fail. And I never got the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Give me 6 months and I'm going to prove you wrong. And so it was pretty, it really knocked me down to the ground when he said that I was going to fail and I was going to come back. So, yes, to your point, it did tear everything inside of me.
And then when you were proving, so when you're going on this, I'm going to prove him wrong. Did you, like when you were having those successes, whether they were micro, middle, or big successes, wins, if you will, did it hurt every time because you remembered that it's the driving force behind that was because he didn't believe in you?
No, I think in retrospect, putting myself in his shoes, I think I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger siblings, 2 sisters, and I was the first one to leave the house. So I think where he came from, I think it was more of anger and just the fact that I was leaving, and it kind of hurt him. And so all my wins throughout my careers, it wasn't a more of a, or how do I say it? It wasn't a here's right back at you, Dad. It was more of, hey, it was for my self-confidence mostly that I was able to achieve this and this and this and proceeded with my career. So yeah, it wasn't to get back at my dad, but it was more for my self-worth.
And then because again, like this podcast, it's so interesting because I share this on my social media platforms often, but it's the power of our words. Like I think people don't realize the power of our words,
right? For
the good or for the bad, right? And I know some of what I define to be the most strong, resilient human beings. I know some ones that come to mind immediately. And it's fascinating to me because the strength that I see in them is as strong as like a steel, like if a building were made of steel. Like I just don't see them having the capacity to have a crack in them. And yet when you get to know people on a humanistic level, and that's one of the reasons for the podcast, right? It's like I share with people, it doesn't matter your title, who you are, where you live, how much money you have or don't have. Words are still given to us. And as a human being, this is where it doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
You're a human being. When you get to know people, there's certain things that, whether it humbles you or some that still hurt, do you feel like, even when I was going to ask you on the podcast, right? And I asked you that question because everybody that's doing the podcast has an opportunity to know the question in advance, right? I didn't want to surprise people. Right. I'm not that crazy, but it is had you thought about that for a while? Had it been repressed in you? Kind of walk me through what this question did for you.
It brought back memories. I mean, I can just picture that day of, it was a cloudy, overcast day in Eugene, Oregon. And seriously, my car was just packed to the gill because everything that I owned was in that car. And then, yeah, I remember like it was yesterday. It brought back emotions that maybe I bottled up. As a man, sometimes we tend to bottle things up and not really express them. I did have a conversation with him several years back where we kind of just cleared the air and all that. But it's still in the back of my mind. Yeah. Those words or that lack of faith in me. And so is it a motivator in my career? Of course, it always is, because it'll always be back there. But I think I've made my peace with it, but it's still back there. And
so this is the last part of this question I'm going to ask, and then I'll hop into the next one. But for you, because you talk about that you went on to go become a success, right? At the end of the day, you went to go become a success by your definition of success.
Sure.
What was your definition of success? How did you feel proud of yourself?
How do I feel proud of myself? I think it was achieving certain goals of My biggest goal when I was in high school was to one day work for Nike. And I got the opportunity to work at Nike Town Seattle as a business manager. So I was in charge of a department, let's for instance, men's running. So that was my area. So that was always my goal to work there. And then eventually I worked at a boutique and got into management and did a bunch of other stuff that really enabled me to guide me into this direction of being an entrepreneur. So yeah.
I love that. And I love Nikes. Maybe that's another reason we get along so well.
I think so.
So, and again, you guys, I will always share everybody's social media handles so that you get to connect and meet the people behind the podcast and behind the inspiration for me, because everybody that I introduce you guys to along the way have all given me the gift of inspiration, motivation, things in between. But Daniel's got a story because he came from shoes to diamonds. There's a whole thing that I can let him be the one. You can follow and connect with him on social media for all that. So the next question, again, not the main question of our podcast,
Sure.
but one that I definitely feel is important for anybody listening, because we have people, all walks of life, but certainly our podcast is aimed towards just that corporate America, being able to normalize amongst employees and leadership alike, things that are important. Learning, I believe that professional and personal development and growth is critical.
Mm-hmm.
So what's something you are currently learning for your personal growth and why?
Sure. So funny that you asked that, because I'm actually taking a gem class every Tuesday for the next 8 weeks. I'm learning about gemstones. Diamonds are easier than gemstones because there's so many families, and within that family, there's all the siblings. And so you got to know everything about like barrels and all this information, and it's a lot, but in the long run, it's going to help me as in my business because I'm dealing with diamonds, gemstones. So I got to be able to determine if this emerald is an actual emerald or a synthetic or so on and so on. So it is, that is something that I'm really kind of proud of because it's a lot of information. And so, yeah.
And I love that because I can tell you're passionate about it because you light up, right? When we choose something to learn and we're excited about it, I think we naturally light up. And I'm making a mental note that whenever I have a Mr. Prince Charming come along, I'm shipping him over to you so that you can school the man. Again, I want to thank you for being open and honest. When you and I first met, I think very quickly we just had connection in that, again, you're a single parent and then entrepreneurs, right? Being an entrepreneur is not easy. I think social media now, today's day and age, makes it look shiny and pretty.
Yes, very much so.
And it's a struggle. And I admire the fact that you are truly building your business. So you have branched off on your own this year and really just creating something, creating a name for yourself, creating a legacy for you and your children and your brand. And I just find that really inspiring. So what I would like to do, you guys, again, I will make sure to add all of his social media handles. So you guys go follow him, but in true fashion. Wow. So none of the questions are the same. You get to draw one. You cannot at all on here at all.
Okay.
But you have to read the question out loud. So he is going to read the question out loud. And if you guys want to know his answer, he will post it on his social media. So you have to go follow him and he will post it as creative or as bland as he wants to when his episode airs. So yeah.
All right. Okay.
So, I get so nervous for y'all.
Here we go. What's something small that instantly turns a bad day around for you?
Okay, and don't answer.
Will not answer. I will post
He's such a smart man.
On my social media.
Yes. So I will let you know when your episode is going to be aired, and then that day you get to post it.
Sounds
so people have to hang around. That way they get to meet you and then know you.
Okay.
Again, you guys, I want to thank you for listening or watching the episode. You know, I say this time and time again, like a broken record. And quite honestly, I am okay to be the broken record. But I see you. I love you. You matter to me. And with that, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Make the moments matter in the world where you can be anything. Choose kindness and love. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.